Hey, it's the Empire. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon for more videos. We taking over. Let's go, champ. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's go.
Hey, it's the Empire, Geobox Empire, back to boxing. Now, my boy, man, Tyson Fury decides he's gonna fight in December. Wild stuff, man. You know, he says that he gave Deontay Wilder some chances to get this fight happening, and that the fight day was supposed to be on the 19th, and they keep trying to move it back. Now, this is wild stuff, man. Tyson Fury, desperate to get in the ring all of a sudden. You know, he's been the least active guy out of all the heavyweight champions, but now all of a sudden this guy wants to fight three times a year, which is like never a thing. You know, this guy always fights like one time a year. He's been extremely inactive, and you know, usually, you know, you look at Deontay Wilder's record in itself, even if it's bums or not. I don't care what you think. The guy is 40 plus fights in. You know, the guy is extremely active. He fights a lot, but even he's trying to get the maximum money from this Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury fight. And people have been saying that, you know what, we're gonna try to make this fight happen with fans. We're gonna push this fight as far back as possible because, you know, we want to make those most money as possible. And it's wild stuff from Tyson Fury because, you know, this is what Tyson Fury said, and I quote: "I agreed to December 19th," Fury said, and then they tried to change the day again into next year. And he said he's gonna be fighting in a homecoming fight to Britain, right? So that being said, man, he said he's gonna do that in December. That being said, man, you know, we only hear from Tyson Fury's side. We really don't know what's going on. There's a lot of misinformation going on, and only hearing from one camp is not sufficient. You need to hear both sides. You need to hear what's going on from Wilder's team, from Al Heyman, from Shelly Finkel. You need to hear it from all of them, and from Wilder himself. So that being said, man, you know, there's a lot of it's just a lot of inconsistency from Tyson Fury's team because Frank Warren will say something in one hand and Bob Arum will say something completely different, and they both manage Tyson Fury. So we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out, man. But definitely, Tyson Fury definitely wants this fight sooner than later. A lot of people are saying that Deontay Wilder is still injured and Tyson Fury wants it sooner because of it. A lot of people are saying that Tyson Fury is trying to play Deontay Wilder's hand and make him get this fight sooner than later. To just say we're gonna get a fight, to call a bluff, to make him agree to a sooner fight than later because they believe Deontay Wilder is still injured. So, man, that being said, man, this could be a strategic move from Tyson Fury. We're going to see how this whole thing plays out, man. But I do think that, you know, if Tyson Fury tried to fight in between the rematch clause, there'd be some consequences if Deontay Wilder, if it's not true that Deontay Wilder had some kind of rematch clause that wasn't indefinite, right? You know, a lot of people are saying that it's not indefinite, and that means you can't have a rematch clause that goes on forever. But the fact of the matter is, it's been less than a year. I mean, they fought in February. That being said, you know, I'm pretty sure that rematch clause stretches into at least February. That's not that long. You know, rematch clause, I get to exercise my rematch clause within a year's time, and we're gonna stretch it into February. That makes sense to me. You know, 1 year time isn't some drastic long drought out anything. You know, so that being said, man, I do think that if we don't see this fight by February, maybe Deontay Wilder didn't activate his rematch clause, but they were saying that Deontay Wilder activated his rematch clause right after the fight. They're saying he wants that fight right away. Like, as soon as he lost the fight, they said he wants it like the same day. So, you know, to say he doesn't want to the fight is ridiculous. They're probably going to activate the rematch clause in the last second. That's the best thing to do if I were Deontay Wilder. He needs to get back to his fundamentals, recover, do all that, and just be good. So we're going to see how this whole thing plays out with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. We're going to see if Tyson Fury really goes through with it, and that's going to say a lot about the future of them fighting again. And that's a really big deal. I just don't see how Deontay Wilder will let Tyson Fury fight Anthony Joshua for $100+ million. You know, a lot of people there's a lot of bids for this fight, and they're saying this fight can happen in the Middle East for, you know, way over $100 million. You know, they're throwing that oil money at him. So, I mean, it's just too much money on his table to leave for Deontay Wilder to not exercise that rematch clause and to let Tyson Fury right off into the sunset. Win, lose, or draw, Deontay Wilder would make a lot of money, period. So there's no reason to leave all the money on the table, right? So yeah, man, I just don't see Deontay Wilder trying to pull out. It doesn't make any sense. The rematch clause, I'm guessing it at least a year from February. You have to. I don't see why it would be a rematch clause to be shorter for activation for less than a year. Anyway, man, let me know how you guys feel about it though. Like, comment, subscribe. This is the Empire. G-Box Empire. Peace.